Max Wiesner from Renata there. We migrated into there from the Peace River country in 1947. There's 12 of us in the family with my parents. So we lived there until the dam started coming in. Didn't get bought out through hydro because we fought it and we kept it. But everybody else around us pretty well sold. There was not too many left. Some people fought and fought for the longest time there. They weren't getting enough money because, you know, that was their livelihood out there. Everybody had their same livelihood, their food off the fruit, you know. That was one of the best fruit countries in BC.
Our property went right under the dam. When they started talking about the dam, of which shocked us, of course, well, we thought they would deal with us first so we could get out of there. It didn't work that way.
I had 134 acres on the ranch farm that had 90 head of cattle. We had a 2-story, 8-room house. And they came to buy us out. They didn't treat us fairly because they give us next to nothing for an offer.
So I came in here in 38. We came in, my dad and I came in 38 in Burton. And we lived up at Beals, that's up the Caribou Road, about 2 miles from town, from Burton.
We had a small garden patch, and so I'd get a buggy and have the babies in the carriage and walk along the highway to come up to Dad's and Mom's and work in the garden there and then go home. It's a beautiful life.
We have to be a change in this valley, so we're going to hire, we've got to do all clearing, you've got to move you guys out of here. I said, you're going to move us all right. Not moving us, man. I hung on to it, so. If it wasn't for the Flores easement, I would never have this property.
I know there was rumors, you know, for quite a few years about this Columbia River treaty and that sort of thing. The first I remember was Hydro actually talking to my parents, my mom and dad. So, yeah, then we realized that was our last year there.
And everybody's upset because Hydro's going to come, they're going to flood everything, you know. So as they did flood it, they did buy them out, they burnt a lot of the houses, moved a few of them, and that was it. And everybody, they figured there was a lot of money they were getting, that some of them knew that it wasn't.
I couldn't believe, though, that my husband's face, his face was just white. And they said, well, you know, we've got our first offer. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, $5,000. I said, $5,000 wouldn't buy a toilet. What are you talking about? Or you can't be serious. And we tried to contact everyone that we thought would have any power. Bennett was in power here at the time. He wouldn't even answer our letters.
I seen the price of it, I thought that was ridiculous. And I refused to offer.
And that's what encouraged him to say that, you know, he wanted a piece of land, a higher land. So, you know, you're taking my and his 134 acres. Well, why don't you give us in replacement some land? No, they didn't go for that either. Then they said, well, you know, you can purchase land, like, you know, we'll buy you out and you can take that money and purchase. But when we went to look for some property to buy, it was so expensive. You couldn't, even the money we got for 134 acres, you couldn't buy a decent piece of land.
They'll give you the price, and that's it. If you don't say anything, take the price. That's where law got hurt. They offered so much for the property, and that's it. And I says, I'm not taking no less, or as I take Flores Union, you give me that price, and I said, I'll hang on to it. Otherwise, forget it. And we got the price we asked for it. And they asked what they give us, so we hung right on it. I said, I'm not letting this property go, because if I go on a debt to buy a property in the cusp for Hyder, forget it.
We discussed the fact that because we were on the upper level of the community, our property wouldn't actually be flooded, but we couldn't really stay there either. I guess we could have and, you know, come in and out by boat, but that was no life for us kids and going to school and that sort of thing. You know, we pretty well realized that we were leaving there and we were moving to town.
We lost everything after that, and we had no traffic coming back and forth, no boats, no nothing, ferries, nothing. We were on our own hook. I'm about the only one that took up homesteading, more or less you can call it, come back into there. I managed to be able to buy the old schoolhouse I went to school in. It was built in 1911 there, and I moved that up the hill. I bought that for $15 and moved it up there with my cat and fixed that up so it's a shelter there when I worked there in the bush.
Going back to BC Hydro, to the men that represented them, you know, there was no standard. They treated us all as if we were just simple children. So where did the people of the Arrow Lake stand? They were right down there, and they were taken advantage of in every way possible.
You know, looking back and seeing how terrible they treated all of these people, and we can only speak for ourselves, but what we feel about how we were treated there, you know, I think they should come up with some kind of further compensation for us.
I think a piece of land would be excellent.
Yeah.
It wouldn't cost anybody any money. The
Yeah.
government wouldn't.
And they're
have
in that, they're developing the land down there now anyway. I mean, they're talking about a land development plan for the Koocanusa.
That's in the past, and the Lord has certainly blessed us over and above what we went through. But I think we appreciate it because of what we did go through. And knowing that the legalities that have come up and others that have had problems with hydro since settlement and everything else.
I think if we had have stayed there, there's not a lot of options for people to work when they grow up. So at this stage in my life, I don't think I would have had the opportunity to get into the profession I am now. I don't think that would have been a possibility. You know, if we had a stayed, it's more forest industry kind of thing, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities for kids there, not in a working world.